Episode 7, Thursday, February 16th. We're going to be answering a question from Kavita, who's a recent graduate. She has a question regarding salary negotiation and actually how to negotiate a job in general as a new grad physician assistant. So if you have any questions for me, send them over via Instagram, and I'll put the DMs here, the DM handle here. Or you can send through email, and again, I'll put the email here, andrew@physicianassistantboards.com, and you can do my personal Instagram, or you can do the PA Boards Instagram. And this is how I'm collecting questions to actually go through the Q&A that we're doing Monday through Friday on a daily basis. So this question comes from Kavita. I'm gonna go ahead and read her question, and then I'll give my 2 cents. Hopefully everybody had a great Valentine's Day. If you see these flowers in the background, we'll see how long these roses last. We'll see how long my girlfriend keeps them alive. So let's get into question from Kavita. So she says, "Hi Andrew, this is Kavita, one of the recent PA graduates. First, I really want to thank you for your wonderful audio review course, which has been a time saver and best buddy for clinical rotations when you are at your own, and I'm still using the same for my board preparation. I'm writing this email to know how to prepare for interviewing the first job. How do we approach the employer? A couple of times I felt that they made you feel that you are a new graduate and don't have much experience for the position, but they are doing you a great favor by giving you an opportunity to explore the position. Also, when do you talk about salary? If you say that you want something, what is acceptable? Then they say your expectations are high. Can you please help me to approach the situation? Also, I would like to know, what is your suggestion for a new graduate to begin with, hospital or a private setting?" All right, so it seems like she has a lot of questions here. So let's tackle on the first question here, which is actually, let's talk about the private or the hospital setting, and then we're gonna go into the salary negotiations, and then we're gonna talk about maybe doing a rebuttal when they say that you're asking for too much money. So if you heard my previous talk on kind of salary negotiation, I think this was last week, we didn't necessarily touch on negotiating. I gave my 2 cents that as a new graduate, you don't know all that much, and it's acceptable to take a low paying position on the condition that you get a position so that you learn, right? They're teaching you, they're letting you get experience. That is the only reason to get a low paying job. Otherwise, don't undermine your worth or your value, right? So very important caveat. So let's talk about private versus hospital setting, right? Private versus hospital setting, which should you choose? This is a personal choice. Again, pick the job setting where you're going to learn the most. The most important thing that you could do in the first 5 years of practice is learn as much as you can, see as many patients as you can, do as many procedures as you can. If that means doing that at the hospital, then that means doing that at the hospital. If that means working for a private family practice, private practice in general, then go ahead and do that there. The important part is that whoever hires you is willing to train you and is willing to allow you to see patients without being pigeonholed, without being restricted. There are many jobs out there that are horrible. And this isn't just for the PA profession. This is every career in general. There are many jobs out there that will not allow you to actually reach your full potential because the manager, the boss, whoever's in charge is micromanaging so much, it doesn't allow you the freedom to make mistakes. And it's really when we make these mistakes that we're going to learn. So that's very subjective. If you want to work in the ER, obviously you're going to have to work in the ER. There's no private sector for this. If you want to work family practice, it doesn't matter if you're in a group. It doesn't matter if you're working internal medicine at the hospital. Find the job that's going to allow you to do the most. Now, when we're talking about salary negotiations, it's really going to vary on your specialty, and it's going to vary on the region, and it's going to vary on your experience. A new graduate will not command the same salary as somebody who's been practicing for 10 years. And a practicing PA, for example, in Los Angeles is going to be paid very, very differently than someone in Kentucky, for example, right? And vice versa in New York, because New York is very congested. There are many PAs. There's so many schools out there that it's a supply and demand type thing. The more PAs you have, the more oversaturated the profession is in that general region, the less employers can get away of asking, because they know that if you don't take the job, there's some other new graduate willing to take the job. So it's supply and demand. If PAs are well regarded, they're more scarce, then obviously you're able to command a higher salary. So it's very specific. The AAPA does put out these salary summaries every single year. We're looking anywhere from, to be quite honest, anywhere from $60,000 a year, which I would not advise unless you're doing some type of residency program where you were learning a shit ton. But you can look anywhere between $60,000 upwards to the high six, or not high six figures, but upwards to six figures and beyond, right? It's 100,000, 200,000, depending on the region, depending on the specialty, and depending on your experience. So you have this huge range, 60,000 to 200,000, let's say, right? As a physician assistant. You need to look at these reports. You need to see what they say. And I would choose the high end of the spectrum. It's always better to ask for more. And then if they say no, you can always come down. If you start too low, then you've already dug yourself in a hole. They're not going to offer you more. If you say, hey, can I get $60,000? They're not going to say, hey, you know what? I think you deserve $80,000. It's always better to ask for more. They can always come down. Don't start too low. Now, they're correct in the sense that, yes, you don't have any experience. Yes, you don't know all that much. And yes, they are giving you an opportunity. At the same time, don't let anybody talk down to you, and know your worth. There's a fine line between knowing that you don't know a lot and letting somebody disrespect you, and somebody, you know, kind of telling you that you're lucky to be here. Because the truth of the matter is, just as there are many PAs willing to take that job, there are many jobs out there, and they are not the only employer. So regardless of your situation, if you're being disrespected, leave. It's that simple. Don't try and change anybody. Don't try and change anybody's mind. Don't try and make them see it your way. It's very simple, because if you have a discussion, if you're having an argument, or if you're having some kind of disagreements in the interview, imagine what practice is going to be like. And you have to go in there with some gestalt, right? You have to go in there with feeling. You know the second you walk into an interview if this is the right fit for you or not. Money isn't the end all and be all. You have to make sure that the people you're working with are great, that you guys have the same type of vision, that you guys can collaborate, that you're not being micromanaged, that you feel comfortable talking to whoever's in charge. Very, very important aspects. The culture has to be correct. There's a lot of factors that go in it, not just the money. At the end of the day, when you're looking for a job, you're selling yourself. This is the ultimate sales pitch. You are selling yourself to your employer. You are telling them how great you are, how responsible you are, how knowledgeable you are, how competent you are, and how willing you are to learn more, and how great of a team member you will become. You are essentially an asset to their group, their clinic, their hospital, whatever it may be. So you really need to know how to sell yourself. If you don't walk in there confident, if you don't walk in there demanding $100,000 off the bat, and if you don't believe it whenever you say it, they're not going to believe it, and it's not going to go your way. You have to sell yourself. And at the end of the day, you have to have the power in the room. Somebody always has more power over the other person. And when you first walk into a room, it's this mental, emotional wrestling match. If you come out on top, then you can negotiate to your pleasing, right? It's whoever has the power. If you have the leverage, if for example, you are the best of the best in your specialty, you've been practicing for 30 years, you're going to walk in a lot differently than the PA who just graduated, right? And it's all psychological. So sell yourself, be confident in yourself, don't let them disrespect you. Doesn't matter if it's hospital or private setting, so long as they treat you well, so long as the work environment is great, and so long as they're allowing you to learn, to see patients, to do procedures, to grow. So that's my 2 cents there. If you guys have any questions, if you guys have any comments, I'd really like to hear your perspective on this. If you have any insights, I'd love to hear that as well. You can either leave it in the comments or you can send me an email or a DM. Again, the email is going to be andrew@physicianassistantboards.com, or you can shoot me a DM on my personal Instagram. That's AND_REID, or on the PA Boards Instagram, which is simply PABOARDS. Hopefully you guys had a great Valentine's Day. Hopefully you guys had a great week. Tomorrow is Friday. I know for a lot of you in the medical profession, it doesn't matter if it's a weekday or a weekend. You are working either nights or you're working on the weekends. For those of you that have it off, for those of you that have the weekend off, congratulations. I will talk to you tomorrow on the next Q&A video. Take care, guys.